Right, hello. We're here at Melbourne where it's still spitting with rain. So we've decided to come and speak to Graham Crook about a little piece of history that he's brought along today for the first time, Graham.
Yeah, morning Dave, yes, yeah. It's an iconic piece of history, all back to 1982.
Yeah.
Just wait for that car to go.
Yeah, that's Dan, another piece of history. He's had that car a while, but anyway.
Yeah, anyway,
Okay,
so it's a 1955 Ford Pop, made to look like a Willys. It was originally put together in 82-83 by a chap called Jeff Owen. It's gone through 3 different colour changes. It was a very dark blue black colour, then it went to yellow, and it's now currently a VW purple haze colour.
Oh right, yeah.
It's been in storage for over 10 years, and the current owner that I got it from earlier this year, he's only had it about 8 or 9 months. Prior to that, as I say, it was been in storage, so a little bit of refreshing and updating to do, but it's been in several magazines. Obviously been in Your Ex magazine. 1989 was the
89, wow.
I think it was July 89 was the edition, which I've got somewhere. So yeah, it's a masterpiece of engineering to make it look like a Willys. Patchwork welding in the wings and the boot and the bonnet. So we're here at Melbourne, which is my local track, to see what it can do. The engine is an updated, tweaked, supercharged Rover 4 litre. Lots of stainless on there by Paul Warwick, who was the person that did the major updating, change the engine. It originally started out, I think, with a Nissan engine 1.6 in its early years.
I remember that Datsun engines were quite popular for like Morris Miners and whatnot.
Yeah. So it has gone through various guises, and it had run NOS prior to going into storage. But,
Wasn't it? So I noticed there's still solenoids back there.
Yeah. Well, I've disconnected that for now, because we just don't know what it's going to do, and I don't really fancy detonating a nice engine. So,
Yeah.
So there we go.
Fantastic stuff. So it's been around the block, and you say it's been in storage for a while.
Yeah.
10
years.
I don't remember seeing this for a goodly long time.
It went off the radar completely.
Yeah. And you were telling me about these headlamp bezels, which are sort of like 40 forward or something like that.
Yeah, there's a bit of a story there. The guy that was building it went on holiday, mainly I think to try and get parts to the States, and he was given these surrounds for a Ford coupe, but because they are similar to a Willys, the shape and everything, he said, I'll take them, put them on the car, and they've lived on the car ever since.
And when you say we went on holiday and whatnot, this was back in the 80s.
Yeah.
So early 80s,
Yeah.
before the internet was even on Tomorrow's World or anything. Yeah.
This was all done from sketches and drawings and magazines that were shipped over from the States, because the internet was just the old ping pong.
Yeah, I remember that. Yes, Atari was it. Yeah. And I mean, because somebody's put a lot of work into shaping this roof, and I'm guessing the fact that it's lasted 40 years means that there's a lot of good steel in there.
Yeah, you can. I think this is back in the day when steel was proper steel, but you can see there's the resemblance of the corner of the pop there. You can see the half the door shape, but it's lost that arch.
Yes,
there.
of course. Yeah.
You can see part of the wing of a Ford Pop, but it's been widened and then shaped. I know they used to do it on Moggy Miners, didn't they? That was a car good base for a Willys. The back's been completely stretched out, and the boot line is stretched. The boot lid weighs a complete ton, but
It's steel.
It's all steel, yeah. And when you lift that up, it's complete patchwork of probably 8 inches of sheets of metal to get the shape, and it's credit to him, absolute credit to him.
Right.
And I think his idea was, back in the time, was to make it look drag racy, but not, if you know what I mean.
Well, it's always been a street car.
Yeah, it's always been on the street. To my knowledge, it's never been on a track, so it's one reason
Oh, never.
why we're
Okay.
here. Yeah, there's
Right.
no record of it at all.
Wow. Because yeah, you'd have thought somebody who'd bothered fitting wheelie bars would have been interested in taking it to the track.
Yeah. But there's a lot of handmade parts. The headers are handmade stainless. The blower block by Paul is handmade stainless. The firewall is handmade stainless. There's loads of bits. All the brake line is stainless. And of course, back in like the 90s, stuff was just starting to come across from the States.
Yeah.
And then it just got lost to the world.
Wow. Fantastic. So, I mean, do you know what is the chassis? Is it original boxed or handmade or?
It's as far as I can tell on the paperwork and the history, it's a handmade box.
Right, okay. Yeah, can we open up and have a look?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what I noticed this a minute ago when you had the doors open, it's not. I mean, it's a pop. It's never going to be a limo, but
No, it
it's
feels
not
like a
cramped
pop.
in there.
No. There's a bit of a story to the seat. It's actually out of an old 40s, early 50s bus coach.
Right.
And it got totally stripped down, handmade in Croydon in London. So it's old style leather with matching door
Gosh, it
cards.
smells the part, doesn't it? It smells
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. And Paul used to not wax it but feed it on a regular basis. So it's built in to fit there, but the base of it is out of an old coach. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, and I mean, you say you wanted it all sort of looking like a drag racer, but there's a proper full interior here, isn't there? It's not.
Yeah,
these
there is. Yeah.
door cards and everything. I mean, is that proper headlining as well?
It's proper old school headlining. Yeah. If you look at the top of the dash, you can still see what resemblance of pop. This archway, and then there's the stainless steel for the dials. All the handles are all handmade by Paul.
Wow.
He just copied everything because it was hard to get back then.
Yeah. Gosh.
Absolute credit to
And this is never old Bakelite, is it?
well, could well be.
I think it might be, you know.
It's part of what is the pop, yeah, because it's got a small crack there. But that is part of the original pop door, yeah, so it may well be. But I'm still finding out bits all the time, you know, and this is all still old pop stuff.
So did you know Paul the builder, or did you just happen to know of him?
Paul, no, I didn't know him. I found him through all the history that you get, all the paperwork.
Yeah.
And Lou sent him an email and said, do you remember this car? Was it your car? Did you build it? And, and he got in touch with us, and he was absolutely over the moon that we own it and we're going to do all these hopefully good things to it.
Brilliant.
And get it out to shows and drag races again, which is what he used to do. He used to drive it all over the south of England, which is where he comes from. So that's like Guildford area, down that neck of the woods. It was a very, very well-known hot rod back in the day.
Yeah. Do you know what back end's under this?
Yeah, it's all Jag. The axle's a Ford 9-inch. It's all Jag suspension, jack hubs. As far as we know, the front is out of a T2 VW steering rack, and we just presume that the rack is still VW.
Right, okay. That's fantastic. So, as it's currently not raining and you've signed on and scrutineered, I should let you crack on and have a go.
Well, thank you very much.
And just out of interest, have you driven it on the street?
Yeah, it's a fun ride. It's a typical hot rod ride.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
And it's all down, the suspension's all down to what pressures you've got in the tyres.
Because there's a lot of tyre on there for what can't be a very heavy car.
Yeah, it is. So they're pumped up quite hard for this weekend.
Right.
Get down the track, but if I'm driving it, the pressures are quite low, and it's a lot more drivable then. So, but it's a learning curve. We're just learning about it, and
fantastic. Nice one. Well, I shall let you go. Thank you ever so much.
All right.
Graham.
Thanks very much, mate.
Cheers a lot.
Nice to speak to you. Bye.